Hey folks, thanks for joining me today. So today's tutorial is going to be done on a heartstone. I made this by using the molds from the Happy Dotting Company. And I painted it black, let it dry, and then I sketched out the heart shape on the top. Now it was very easy because there's like a raised area. It's very, very slight, but it's easy to follow the heart shape with whatever you want to use. I use the General's charcoal pencil because it erases very easily. And now I'm going in with a couple of different blues. So I have Ocean Blue and Provence Sky. Both are from DecoArt. And I'm just adding them together. So I had to do a few different coats on this, actually quite a few layers, because this stone was very pitted. Now what happened is that when I mixed the UltraCal 30 to put it into my mold, I didn't let it settle long enough for the bubbles, and these bubbles got trapped on the bottom of the mold. And so when it dried, the bubbles popped and left these little pits. So I had to work with them. It's not the end of the world. You can still get these little pits filled in with paint, and then once you resin it, you never know that they were there. So that's what I did. I had to do a couple of layers of paint just to get those pits filled in, and now you don't even really see them. So I used the Ocean Blue and the Provence Sky to really make the sky look kind of like a glowy sky. And then I used some white paint and I added in a little moon, which is what I'm doing right now, just adding some accents to it. And then I'm going to go in and do some sparkle varnish so that I get a nice even sparkle across the entire background before I do the rest of the design. So the reason for this particular tutorial is because about 4 years ago, I had done one of these. It's called Fairy on a Branch, and I had posted the video. But back when I was first starting, if I didn't like a video or if it wasn't up to my standard after I posted it, I deleted it. I should never have done that, but I did. So, and of course I don't have it saved anywhere because I figure once it's on YouTube, that's where it's going to live. And so I didn't have another one. And one of the viewers, her name is Julie Stoker. So a shout out to you. Thank you for prompting me to do this. This is another fairy on a branch. I don't duplicate. I shouldn't say I don't. I can't. I've tried. There's no way. So this is the better and more improved version of that fairy on a branch because I've had a few more years under my belt with experience on painting. So I decided to do this for Julie and for everybody else who is joining me today to watch. So what I do now is I put on my sketch that I can with my General's charcoal pencil, but this is the darker, it is a charcoal color instead of using the white that's kind of like a chalk. They both erase the same way. They both provide the same kind of, what's the word? Like applicability. So I can erase this, but I can still see it on top of what I'm doing. So I'm just sketching out the tree branch and where I want the fairy to be. And then I go in and I start painting the tree limb. So the colors I'm using for the tree limb is called Asphaltum. And I'm going to use a little bit of white to dull it down a bit so that I can have some light sources and some dark sources. So that's your, like the light and the shadow of this branch, but it's just one big branch that goes all the way across the heart. And I'm going to have the fairy sit on that. And I really enjoyed doing this again. I forgot actually how fun it was to create little fairies, and I think I might be doing some more because they're so fun and they are so cute. And honestly, they're very easy to do because you're just doing the silhouette, and that's by using black paint. I'm just using a fine lining brush here so that I can get the details and the shape of her legs and her body and her torso and her arms, all that good stuff, to be proportionate. And that's why I like to do my sketch on first, because it gives me the guideline or where I need to put things, and then I let the paint do the rest. So the paint is actually going to fill it in. So we've got like your thighs, and then the calves, and then the tiny ankles and the feet, all that kind of stuff. So all it is just shapes being put together in different ways where it is like small or larger to make it look like a body. Really, that's all that it is. It's just putting shapes together. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. So I make her look like she's kind of sitting cross-legged with her legs dangling off the edge of the branch. And you'll see a little bit later that once I get up to the top of her torso and into her arm, I make it so that she's holding her arm out. Now, if you've seen the thumbnail at the beginning, and is the reason why you clicked on this video, you'll see what I mean, because that's the finished product, is the thumbnail there. So, but this is just to show you how we get there. I do want to thank you for joining me too. I really hope that you enjoy this. The best way to let me know is to give me a thumbs up. And if you're new and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It's quick, easy, and free. And it helps me out a lot. And ring the notification bell. And that way you will never miss another video that I post in the future. So very simple, easy things to do. And honestly, it doesn't cost you anything. It just, a few seconds to click those buttons, but it helps me out like immensely. So it gets me into the algorithm, it gets me noticed, it gets me put into searches and all that good stuff. So I would really, really be so thankful if you could do that for me. That would be amazing. So this is the arm that I'm putting in, and I kind of wanted it to look like that her elbow was resting on her knee. So all I do is I paint on a stick basically, and then I just build up the shape from there. So I make the top of the arm a little bit thicker because that's where your bicep is. And then I make the arm a little bit thinner going to the wrist, and that's her hand holding it out flat. I will go back and fix that up because it is a bit of a big hand, but we'll fix that up. Everything is fixable. It's all good. Now I'm going to work on her face and her hair, and that once that's done, that means that her body is complete. So very simple. It's just doing a silhouette of a person. You don't have to worry about too many details. I am so bad at doing people. I can't. Like doing a portrait of somebody, there's no way. There's too many details in a person's face. And I can't do it. So I at least know what I can't do and I know what I can do. So I focus on that. But that's not to discourage you. Definitely try. I found that my best way to paint people is this way. And as long as I can get the outline and I can capture some of the character of the individual into the silhouette. So like if their hair is in a ponytail, or if, for example, this girl, her hair is fairly messy because she's high up on a branch and it's windy. So her hair's kind of coming out of her bun and is being blown all over the place. So things like that you can certainly capture in a silhouette and still do very well in finding those characteristics of that individual. So there are other ways to do it. I just know that I'm not very good at doing portraits, and that's why I don't. So this fairy is a little bit different than the one that I had done before. And again, unfortunately, that video is gone. I don't know what happened other than I can only imagine that I probably deleted it because I didn't like it. It could have been something in the editing, but that was back in my first days on YouTube, and I didn't really know what I was doing. It's been 4 years now that I have been on YouTube, and I'd say that I've gotten a little bit better on my editing and understanding how YouTube works. So I apologize for not leaving it up and available for everyone to watch, but here is a new one. And this one turned out so cute, and it's so easy to do. So I'm putting on her wings, and I decided to go with some baby pink and dragon fruit because I was going to do them, well, I am doing it that way with one stroke painting because I've learned how to do that somewhat. I'm not an expert or professional, but I make it work. I use the techniques to the best that I can, and then I just work with it. I love how the one stroke painting gives you the blending all in one stroke. So in this particular part of her wings, it would be really hard to get into it unless you had a really tiny blending brush to be able to get in there and blend these together. So the one stroke painting actually works better for me. And then I just go in and I add in any of the little details. So for example, I'm adding in some of that dragon fruit because it's a darker pink, and I'm putting it all on the top because then that's going to separate the different wing fragments. So, and then I use the baby pink underneath to really straighten out any kind of maybe some of the bristles had moved or whatever and made it kind of fuzzy. So I go in and I clean that up and make it a little bit more sharp, and I can add little details. So like this here, I'm just putting like a little, I think it's like a butterfly, but I'm not sure exactly. Maybe it's her baby. I don't know. I just wanted to put something in her hand to help sort of clean up the thickness of that hand. And so I put in like a little butterfly. Now I'm going to do some highlights. So all I did was I took a little bit of that black and I mixed it with some white to create this really bright gray color, or a light gray color. And that's what I'm using as the highlight. So anything that is exposed to the moon is what I'm putting a highlight on. So that gives the definition of, well, like it separates everything. So you can really see that her legs are crossed and that she's just sitting on this, this branch and just sort of, you know, comfortably sitting and having no problems with balance because she's got those beautiful fairy wings that will help her keep her balance. So, but yeah, this is a great way just to add a little bit of highlight, and then it makes it look a little bit more defined. Even though you're not putting in details, you're just putting in the highlights. So it's something very simple and easy to do. So I'm going to go back in with my wings, and I'm adding a little bit of white on the bottoms just to make them seem like they're glowing a little bit. I didn't want it to be like the focal point or like where your eye is drawn to. I want it to flow. So that's why I'm putting in these darker lines and the lighter lines, because it brings your eye down from the wing to the body, and then makes your eye focus on the entire scene. So that is the point of doing these wings the way that I did. And yeah, it turned out so pretty. It is so pretty. I'm very, very impressed. I really like this fairy, the way that it turned out. And like I said, she was so fun to do, and I've forgotten about how fun fairies are. And I think I might be painting more because these are absolutely adorable. And you can play and with the wings so many different ways. You can use glitter paint. You can use chrome powder with the top coat nail gel that you use a UV lamp for. What else could you use? You could use anything. Like, you could leave them transparent, even just paint the outsides and put some veins in it. There's so many things that you could do with fairy wings and make them the visual part that your eye is drawn to, but make sure that you have them drawn into the body so that the eye follows and checks out the rest of the painting. I'm so excited actually to do a bunch of fairies. I might do maybe a St. Patrick's Day fairy to make her green, kind of like a Tinkerbell, but we'll see. We'll see what I get into and how these paintings go. We're still in a snow season, so we're going to be getting another snowstorm. So depending how much snow I get with that, then I'm going to have to go out and do the driveway and, you know, all that good stuff. And I don't know about you, but I am so ready for spring. I am so tired of winter being cold. Every time you turn around, it's snowing again, and you've got to go and redo the driveway again, or the snowplow goes by and clears the road, but piles it all into the end of your driveway. So let me know if anybody else has to deal with these heartaches. Like, it's just so repetitive, and I'm so done with it. Snow is fun in the beginning, but I find that it just lasts way too long. But again, I am in Northern Ontario, so it is to be expected. So I'm just going to clean up the edges of this rock here, just using black paint. And because of when I did all of my blues in the background, it really fuzzed out on the edges. Now, I guess it would have been okay to leave like that, but I like it to be nice and crisp. So I'm just using some black paint just to clean that up. And then I'm going to use some of my Glorious Gold, my absolutely favorite go-to gold, and I'm going to outline the whole thing, and I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not using anything, like there's no guidelines to follow. I'm just using my eye, and it won't be perfect, but that's okay, because that just means that a machine didn't make it. It was made by me. So I am okay with that. I will go in and clean it up with some black paint as well, just to thin out some of the areas that are a bit too thick. But that part will not be seen in this video because I thought, you know, I do it a lot and you know how to do it. You could watch any other video that would have this kind of outlining, and you could definitely learn how to do it there. But yeah, I just go in with some black paint after the gold is dry and just clean it all up to make it look really, really perfect and beautiful and gorgeous and all of those really good descriptive words. So after I'm done this, I will let it dry and I'll give it a coat of resin and it's finished. So there you have it, folks. Life is what you make it. So get creative.